beautiful Flora, Mississippi, from the Men's Health and Women's Wellness of Mississippi Studios. I know y'all have heard me talk about them and all the things that they offer and how thankful we are that they are a sponsor here on the Lindsey Beckham Show. I'm exceptionally grateful because I have seen dramatic changes in my health since partnering with Women's Wellness. But we have a really, really exciting show planned for today, and I'm praying, fingers crossed, that all goes smoothly. We are going to try to have my friend Alex here on video with us as well. We are streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and X, formerly known as Twitter. It's so hard to break that. It is so hard to not say Twitter or retweet or tweet or any of those. But let's see here. I think Alex is attempting to join us. There she is. Let's see. Let me get your mic going. Okay, Alex, you there?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I'm so glad. I did not know if we were going to be able to make this work or not, but Alex texted me earlier and said, "Is this a video or just an audio call?" And I said, "Well, normally it's just audio, but as you can see, Alex is so beautiful that I wanted you all to be able to see her face as well." Alex is in New Jersey, not quite as red of a state as Mississippi, I would assume, Alex. But she has, look, y'all, I'm so impressed with this woman because not only is she a mom, not only is she running a Moms for Liberty chapter, not only is she also an esthetician, and not only does she have her own Girl Scout tribe troop. Alex, you have to help me there, or she did anyway until recently.
I did.
Yeah, and also is huge into fitness. I always see you working out and running and getting all of your steps in, and I start to wonder sometimes, like, when do you sleep, Alex?
I wondered that too, actually. No, it's all balance, right? Some days I get like a cool 9, 10 hours in, and then sometimes it's like 2 or 3, but it all balances out. We're moms. That's what we do. You
That's
make
right.
it work. And yeah, I'm glad that we got this to work. It's actually really funny because I hadn't heard back. So I was like, oh, I guess we're just going to do audio. And I was running downstairs to make the phone call. I just got out of the shower, just got back from the gym. And then I saw like, oh, we're going to make it work. I'm like, how fast can I put some mascara on?
Oh, you don't even need it. You don't even
I
need
got
it.
it in. I got it in. But no, I'm so excited to join you. I've been watching your show for quite some time, and I'm really excited that we got to make this happen. And I get to listen to your voice for a little bit because it's just like the best accent. I love it.
It's so funny. We have another member of Moms for Liberty, and she's actually an actress, and she had an audition a few weeks ago and needed her part. The part was a Southern role. And so she audio texted me and said, "Hey, can you say these lines for me so that I can mimic your voice?" I don't think I sound so Southern, but I guess to other people I do.
It's funny because again, I listen to your show and sometimes we speak and I know this, but for some reason, when you like voice noted me back, it just like I'm like, oh my gosh, that accent, I love it.
I know. I love the Jersey one too. And I was watching your podcast. You did the Fire of Liberty show with one of our co-founders at Moms for Liberty, Tina Deskovich, the week before I did. And I was watching your show, and I was I was kind of so excited because, and not that it was a good thing, but when you started talking about your childhood and the school, and I'm just a documentary freak. I love to watch all these documentaries. And I was like, wait, I watched a documentary about this where this school was terrible to these kids and they went and they shut it down after, years later as adults. And you lived that.
Yep.
And
Yeah, it's a little wild. They when I went to school, it was 1994 to 1998. So you could imagine that if something was going on, the information was not spread out easily like it is today. Something happens like a second later, you can find out about it, right? It's on X, it's on Facebook, it's on like a news pop-up, whatever it is. Back then we didn't have that. So, they could really get away with pretty much whatever they wanted to, because we were all there for different reasons, right? I just didn't get along with my parents. I was very independent individual, and they worked long hours, and I was taking care of my brother. And, you know, to me, to be able to do all that stuff, and then all of a sudden you want to impose like rules on me, I was like, wait, what? I like run my own life here, so we sort of butted heads. And you're a kid, you don't know better, especially a teenager. You think you know everything, you think you know what's best. And but I think if there's not a solid relationship in the family, you're not it's hard for a child to listen to that parent, because you're sort of like, well, where have you been? Like, why am I going to listen to you now? And so a lot of these parents, though, did have kids that were, into drugs or promiscuous or put themselves in like really awful situations. So no matter the reason that your kid was there, you had issues with them, whether they were small or big, and you wanted to fix them, let's say. And so this school promised all of that. And when I would say most of the kids, like really most of them, weren't doing well in school, all of a sudden you go to this school, you're getting straight A's. Were we really getting straight A's? No. I mean, they barely taught us, but they would show the parents this.
They wanna make it
And
look that way so that it looks like they're
yes,
doing something really great for your child, so you'll continue
exactly.
to send them there and pay the money.
Exactly. They're like, they start to trust the school. Like, okay, this has to be working. And they don't allow you to talk to your parents for months on end. But the first time you do talk to your parents, they're listening to the phone call. And if you say anything about what's going on to that school, they're going to take your shoelaces. You're going to lose your job. All your privileges are going to go away. And so you're very polite and respectful, and you don't say what's going on. So again, they're starting to trust this school a little bit more. And they're like, this is great. This is the best. And there's no way of getting this information out. They read your letters. I mean, it's like prison, right?
Yeah, it
Everything
sounds
is
like
gone.
it.
It was actually, I think it might have been worse than prison, to be quite to be quite honest with you. You're not even allowed to have friends there. You can't smile. If you smile, you're forming, some sort of inappropriate relationship. If you're a girl, then you're looked at as like easy, or like that you're trying to, which was funny back then. I didn't pick up on that back then, that they would
Mhm.
only say that about the girls. But so you had no one to confide into, you had no one to share your feelings with, because they would just hold that against you. So I mean, that's where
You
my
can't get the message to your parents of what's really going on.
right. And so now that we have, the internet and phones and all this other stuff, you could get that out super quick. But back then you couldn't. And even when I graduated, you're like in survival mode. You're like, I just want to move on with my life. I don't really know how to do that, but I just want to move past this. It was like awful time, and I just want to move past it. And it wasn't until like the internet sort of really came about, and like MySpace and Facebook, and we started to find each other, because the kids that we went to school with was like our family, like brothers and
Yeah,
sisters.
I bet.
You know, you weren't with yours, so these were now yours. And so we would find each other, and all of a sudden we were like, we got to do something about this, because there's kids that are still there, and they're going through this excuse my language, but hell that
Yeah,
we went through. There's really, you have to use that word, because that's really what it was. And we can't, we're as bad as them if we sit back and let this happen to other kids. We're adults now, and just because it happened to us doesn't give us the excuse to let it happen to somebody else. So
right.
one of the kids was really awesome with tech, and he figured out a way. We all put our stories, we wrote our stories. If some of us actually went back, if you were like considered a good graduate, you could go back and talk to the other kids. We had secret recordings of what was really going on there. And he put everything online, and he did it so that when the parents would go online to like alon.com, it would redirect them to this survivor site. And
Wow.
slowly,
So
yeah, I mean,
he hacked their system somehow.
I don't know how he did it. I don't want to know how. Awful. I couldn't even get my headphones to like connect before. I am not.
Me
I was like,
either. I'm like the least tech savvy person. That's why I said I'm gonna try to make this work, and
I'm
let's
so
see
proud
where I
of
can
you.
go.
You did such a great job. I was like, listen, I know it can happen, but I can't tell you how. I just know that we've done it before. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna wear headphones too. And then I couldn't get it to connect. I'm like, forget it. But yeah, he was really good at that. And I don't know, it did actually take a few years because, you know, kids go from not just all over the United States to this school, but all over the world. You know, I have a friend who's in Brazil, a friend who's in the United Arab Emirates, a friend who's in Israel, everywhere. So the message had to get out, but slowly people were pulling their kids out, and slowly people weren't sending their kids there. And even more slowly, the states were starting to pick up on this as well. Because you have to remember, some of the states were fully paying for these kids, or like in
Mhm.
my circumstance, half. So now they were like, what's really going on here? And how come it's $50,000 a year to send your kid to this school in 1994? That's a lot of money. And it looks like this, and they're not doing any of these activities you're talking about. So where's it really going?
Right.
So now you can see where my huge mistrust.
Yes, especially
Yeah,
for school systems and the activism and realizing that you can use your voice to make a difference because you were able to, along with some of the former students, stop this school from being able to do what they did to you guys to any other children in the future. So I imagine that really kind of was a confidence booster in, wait a minute, there are lots of other issues taking place right here in my hometown, and I can use my voice. I can make a difference. I can change things.
that's right. Well, I mean, you know, because you do the same, but we all have our different whys, right? I mean, and we all got in for different reasons. I mean, I started my chapter in 21 shortly after, like a few months after they even started Moms for Liberty. I think it
Mhm,
was like the first week of April. And, you know, my why was the masks,
mhm.
because I'm like, I'm not putting these masks on my kids. Like, this is crazy. We had him masked the whole time. And I'm like, you know, I was homeschooling because I wasn't gonna mask.
Right,
And
that's when I
so
pulled mine out too. Well, I was like, "Nope, we're not doing it. Not another
just
year of this, no."
just well, you know what? I should rewind. I should say the first eye-opening thing was the fact that they shut schools down in March and the kids never went back till September, at least in New Jersey, and they were allowed to graduate. So let me get this straight. They can
Yep,
miss from March to June and graduate. But if a kid misses 19 days instead of 18 because they were actually
yep.
sick, they may not move. So that was like,
They have the truancy officer at your door and having you show up in youth court, and I'm like, "No, my kids had head lice for 2 weeks, and then they went back to school and got it again, and you can't send them to school with head lice." And
right?
it was fine for COVID. During COVID, it was fine. It was completely fine for them to learn
Oh,
at home, you know?
totally fine. And a lot of them weren't even learning. Like
Right.
my two little kids were Bear was in preschool at the time and Sadie was in kindergarten at the time. So, you know, preschool is what it is. Like we just did some fun things, but you know, there was nothing given to them, right? Like maybe a worksheet here or there, but there was nothing that they were learning, but that was okay for them to just move forward. And so that was really eye opening, you know, and now they've even changed excused absences. So a doctor's note even isn't even an excused absence.
Right.
But wait, you don't want my kid in school when they're sick, but now they can't miss school because of their sick. Like,
Right,
none
I
of it
mean,
makes
yeah,
sense.
before it was even if you had been around someone who had been around someone who was exposed to COVID, then, "Oh, no, you have to quarantine for so
Oh
many
my
days."
gosh, I forgot about that.
Ridiculous, absolutely
I
ridiculous.
totally forgot about that. Yes, it was
Insane.
like if you were 2 people removed or something, you
Yeah, outrageous, absolutely insane.
well, I mean, my kids, since they were unmasked, when when I started it, it was because I wanted to find out my rights and like I need help. And I wrote this beautiful letter, like why my kids don't have to wear a mask, and it wasn't accepted. And I'm like, how is this possible? I wrote it based on New Jersey's executive order, like it should work. And so, you know, I started Moms for Liberty and they helped me get the tools so that I could learn how to do things. And it literally was like 3 days later, they were in school without masks on. So it is really that simple. It's just getting those tools and learning and empowering yourself to make that difference for your kids, and you can do it. But I just remember thinking, like, I can't believe I felt so helpless at that
Yeah.
point. I remember it was a Friday. I felt helpless. Like, what do you mean I can't send them? I did the right thing. I wrote
Yep.
all the right stuff. And it really upset me. And then I felt, I don't know if out of control is the right word, but sort of like out of control. Like, I should be able to do what I need to do for my children to make their life the best that it can be. And you're not letting me. And who are you to say that I can't do that?
Exactly,
Right?
absolutely. Well, we gotta take a commercial break, Alex, but I want everyone to hear. I mean, you have been all over the news in the last few weeks, the past 3 or 4 weeks, I guess, because this organization that we all think is about family, God, and country, the Girl Scouts, let you go, and y'all are not gonna believe why, but we're gonna hear about why. Alex is gonna tell us all about it, and then I also wanna talk about, I don't know if anybody else knows what swatting is, because I had no idea what swatting was until Alex schooled me on that. She informed me and educated me, but she has been through some situations, like, she's been hit hard by some haters, and y'all don't wanna miss this. Y'all stay with us. We will be right back here after this quick break on The Lindsey Beckham Show. Be right back here after this quick break on The Lindsey Beckham Show.
1039 WYAB.
Pure Air Consultants has always been your go-to for reliable and affordable heating and cooling systems, and now we are offering day and night brand to avoid the 25 to 30% increases that everyone is talking about. With day and night, Pure Air Consultants professionals can install a reliable system with a 10-year system warranty, and right now receive $20 off on service diagnostic fees. Call us today, 601-939-7420, mypureairconsultants.com.
Friday night lights, family, and a hot Johnny's Pizza House pizza on the table. Now that's our kind of hunt. Make it a sweet kitchen and bring everyone together. Johnny's Pizza House. Let's share a slice. Here in the South, we keep our football alive and our pizza local. Grab a Johnny's Pizza House sweetless kitchen and cheer on your hometown team. Johnny's Pizza House. Let's share a slice.
Did you know that the average 6-room house collects 40 pounds of dust each year? Local business Pure Air Consultants duct cleaning service can rid your home of the dust, dirt, and debris that may be caught in your air ducts. They can eliminate the mold, fungi, and microbes that might be growing inside your ductwork and polluting the air you breathe in your home. Mention WYAB and receive a free UV light with system replacement. Visit online at mypureairconsultants.com. mypureairconsultants.com.
Why don't you mind your own business?
Mind my own business? What's that supposed to mean?
No, I was just thinking about all of the news of tax changes, insurance changes, regulations being passed down to business owners. I don't have the time to keep growing and to keep up with changing payroll regulations.
I know. It seems like all I do is handle employee-related problems.
You know, I hear People Lease can help.
How can they help?
People Lease can handle our payroll, taxes, employee benefits, and workers' compensation. They even offer an affordable and customizable 401k program and a 24/7 online human resources support center for all my HR needs.
Think of all the time we'll save letting People Lease handle our payroll and benefits administration. I'll be busy growing my business and letting People Lease take care of the rest.
Sounds like a good business plan for People Lease.
Let People Lease mind your business so you can mind your own business. Call now, 601-987-3025. That's 601-987-3025. Or visit freepayrollquotes.com for your free quote.
Shooters, are you ready for something epic? Big River Ballistics is officially opening its doors on September 13th, and you're invited. Join us at Big River Ballistics, the state's premier long-range shooting complex in Morton. You don't want to miss it. Mark your calendar now for Saturday, September 13th for the Big River Ballistics grand opening in Morton. Learn more at bigriverballistics.com. See you at the range.
The Madison Lions Club is firing up the grills for our annual Chicken Go fundraiser. Join us Saturday, October 18th at the Renaissance Bank parking lot on Highway 51 and Madison Avenue. Enjoy a delicious plate with a half chicken, 2 sides, a roll, and our famous voodoo sauce. Order online at madisonlionsclub.square.site or from any Madison Lions Club member. Proceeds support vision screenings, scholarships, and local community projects. Madison Lions Club, serving with pride and serving you.
UrgeVet Emergency Vets Madison has been serving your pets for 5 years now. From late night emergencies to weekend worries, we have been here caring for your pets when your regular vet isn't available.
From the moment you walk in the door, our team of veterinary professionals is here to care for your pets at all hours of the nights, on weekends, and holidays. Located at 15 Olympic Way in Madison. Call us at 601-790-1918. UrgeVet, always here when your pet needs us most.
Welcome back to the Lindsey Beckham Show, where we have a very special guest today, my friend Alex from New Jersey. You can hear her Jersey accent there. Alex, you have, I failed to mention when I was telling everybody all the things that you do, you're also a part-time co-host on Newsmax, right?
Yes, I'm very lucky. I get to spend Tuesdays. We actually film on Tuesdays and it airs on Saturdays with Johnny and the gang of wise guys on
I love it.
Newsmax. We have entirely too much
I
fun.
can tell. I've watched a little bit of it, and I can definitely see the fun you guys are having. But you have been kind of all over national news, not even just on Newsmax, but other places. And I remember when the day that all this went down, I don't know if I saw a post or someone sent me a text in a group chat and explained what was happening over there in New Jersey. And I remember thinking, they have no idea how this is going to blow up and this is going to become national news. Because if I know Alex Bougher, she is going to be in front of every camera telling this story and getting this story out there. So I'm just going to let you run with it. You tell us what happened. What happened with the Girl Scouts? Why are they so woke these days? And what is going on?
Yeah, it's funny. So that's literally what I said on the phone call, and I'll go over the phone call as we go through the story. But at the end, I was like, "You don't know what you just did," like literally. And I probably would have been more gracious with them if they had just, I don't know, a little bit with me. And they were just so unbelievable. They broke protocol. They were so nasty. And that's when I was like, you know what? I have the resources to fight. I know what to do. And there's got to be parents out there that this is happening to that don't have that or don't know what to do. So now I have to do something about this. So yeah, so I've been a Girl Scout leader for 7 years.
7 years.
7 years. 7 years. And, you know, I coach my daughter's cheer team for the same amount of time. I'm the second teacher in my Bible club for the kids in school. To me, you should be a part of what your children are doing and also who they're around,
absolutely.
right? So that was like my biggest thing. I'm like, who are these people? Who's going to teach my kids? Who are they going to be around all day? Who are they going to go on camping trips with? Like, that was very concerning for me. So I said, and also the girls that my daughter's friends with, they're all like really energetic and outdoorsy. And I wanted to make sure it was going to be the right troop. And there's nothing wrong with a tea party or getting your nails done, things like that. You know, have at it if that's what you're into. But these girls, they're not into that. Well, now they are.
Yeah,
12 years old. But when
it
started,
changes as
right,
teenage years
when it
change
started,
things.
right. Right. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, some girls are really girly, even at 5. My group of girls were like climbing trees and cannonballs, things like
Outdoorsy,
that.
love
So I'm like,
camping
okay,
type. Yeah.
outdoorsy.
The camping
So I
trip
wanted
set
to make
up
sure
right
that
before this happened, right?
it's in like 2 weeks from now, and obviously we're not allowed to go on it. But yeah, that's the one that we look forward to the most. We, you know, Frost Valley is awesome, and you camp for a few days, and you're supposed to do an activity per 2 hours. We would always cram in 4. I would have the girls run. I'm like, first we're going to do the flying squirrel, and then we're going to run over here and zip line, and then we're going to, because that's what they wanted to do.
And you're that
They didn't
mom.
wanna
I
do
can
4
totally tell.
activities.
You're that kind of mom too, like the overly ambitious, like we're going to do it all. I mean, that's just your nature. That's your personality.
We're going to do it all. But also, like, I want them to get as much out of it as they want to. You know, I know that for us to do one activity and then sit on our butts for an hour, that's not fun to us. Like, we'd rather go do something else. And that's how they felt too. So, so I got involved with it. And, I have wonderful co-leaders, kindergarten teacher, a police officer, all like-minded, all great. These kids were helping at the senior center multiple times a year. It started the first time they were 5 years old. We went there for the holidays. They sang Christmas songs, Hanukkah songs. They baked them goodies. They went and talked to all of them. And they've done this every year since then. And they go play games with them and they make gifts for them throughout the year. And they have a relationship with these seniors there because they see them throughout the year and they see them grow up.
That's so
And
special.
it brings
Yeah.
so much joy. So special. It brings so much joy to them. It's pretty
Yeah.
lonely over there. And it's good for the kids as well, that they know that they're helping their community out and doing something that's not for them, but for other people. And so they're just really a wonderful troop.
What did you do that was so terrible, Alex? What did you do that was so bad that they couldn't imagine you being around these girls any longer?
I know. Could you imagine? So I started to see a problem with the Girl Scouts a few years back. Some of the troops were taking them to BLM rallies, and I called council to complain, like, this is unsafe. I don't care what your beliefs are. If that's what you believe in, that's great, but you don't take a minor to this. And it's certainly not our job to take our troop to this. And they weren't concerned about it at all. In fact, they were like, that's wonderful. And I'm like, what? And so you started to see these changes. And our service unit leader, so I have on my own troop, but then you have your town's manager, started to book things in this church that had a 13-year-old boy who identified as a girl running this like ice cream pizza social. Let's talk about how you feel about your gender. All
Let's
ages
entice
welcome.
you with pizza and ice cream and a concert. I mean, come on.
This is the grooming. This is how they groom children. They make it seem like this family-friendly event, and it's anything but. And again, nobody had any problem. Well, I mean, a lot of the parents had a problem with this, but no one in council had a problem with this. So I just kept my troop away, and I couldn't take my kids to any of the town meetings at this church because of the progressive pride flag that was flying there, because of some of these events. Not all the events. Some of them were great. Some of them were line dancing. Some of them were, blanket making. But I'm like, I'm not bringing my kids there. It's not safe. And so it finally escalated this past, I think it was February or March. And parents were calling me and they're like, we're not bringing our kids there anymore. My husband said my daughter can't be there. What kind of organization is this that has these things there? And we had asked them to take down the flag. They would not. So I did a post and I said, what kind of church does this? Like, it's more important to affirm, the feelings of these
Mental
adults
illness, by the way.
rather
Mental
than
illness.
with mental illness, for sure, rather than keeping children safe, right? And I even tagged the town's mayor in it. He went totally actually wrote me an email that was threatening in nature.
Serious?
I am serious. He is just he's definitely very left leaning, let's say. But you're the town mayor. You should be concerned about all of your residents, but most importantly, your children of your community. And he wasn't worried about them at all. So nothing really happened with that. They refused to take the flag down. People just sort of kept their kids from the church. That was it. And that's when, I got some hate mail and threatening messages, and they found out where our next Moms for Liberty meeting was. It was in a park with our kids. They said, too bad eggs are so expensive right now. Wink, wink. Like, you're going to egg me and my kids. Just shows.
That's what you're dealing with, the kind of people you're dealing with.
This is what I'm dealing with. And so then June came around and the service unit manager put this post up on our town's Girl Scout page. So not on my group page, but the town one, and said, we agree with this. It's June is Pride Month, LGB plus. We're all affirming. We all agree with this. We're going to do all these activities. And some of the parents reached out to me and said, like, we're not going to do this, right?
Yeah, we know you're not going along with this.
We're not going to do this. Yeah, we know we're going to do this. But I was like, what are you talking about? So they told me where they saw the post, and I didn't appreciate that she was speaking for all of the troops because our troop is not doing that. So I took the original post, I reposted it, and I said, just to be clear, my troop will not be doing this. It is inappropriate to talk to a minor about anything sexual in nature. It is not my job. It is a parent's job.
Absolutely.
That's it.
That
That's
should be
all
common
that was
sense,
written.
right? I mean, it should be common sense.
It should be common sense, but unfortunately, that is lacking in our country.
Alex, hold
especially
that
in
thought
blue
right
states.
there. Let's take another
Yep.
commercial break.
Yep.
When we come back, I want you to tell
Yep.
us about what happened, what was there, what did they do in response to this? What did the Girl Scouts do in response to this? Because I think it's just mind blowing. It's mind boggling, y'all. I can't even sometimes believe what world we are living in. It seems like an alternate reality. But y'all stay with us. You don't want to miss this. It gets better. Stay with us. We'll be right back on the Lindsey Beckham Show. It's better. Stay with us. We'll be right back on the Lindsey Beckham Show.
.1039 WYAB.
Nick Bain served Mississippi for over a decade in the State House. During that time, he fought for our children by protecting them against explicit materials pushed by the woke agenda. He protected taxpayers by streamlining government and helped create policies that have made Mississippi better. Nick and his team at Bain Bowen will use the same tenacity in helping you with all your legal matters. Call them today at 601-953-2994. Find Nick online at bainbowen.com. That's BAIN Bowen.com.
Pure Air Consultants has always been your go-to for reliable and affordable heating and cooling systems, and now we are offering day and night brand to avoid the 25 to 30% increases that everyone is talking about. With day and night, Pure Air Consultants professionals can install a reliable system with a 10-year system warranty, and right now receive $20 off on service diagnostic fees. Call us today, 601-939-7420. mypureairconsultant.com.
Friday night lights, family, and a hot Johnny's Pizza House pizza on the table. Now, that's our kind of fun. Make it a sweep the kitchen and bring everyone together. Johnny's Pizza House. Let's share a slice. Here in the South, we keep our football loud and our pizza loaded. Grab a Johnny's Pizza House, sweep the kitchen, and cheer on your hometown team. Johnny's Pizza House. Let's share a slice.
Americans for Prosperity is Mississippi's and the country's leading grassroots organization dedicated to promoting economic freedom and personal liberty. Americans for Prosperity advocates for limited government, free market policies, and empowering individuals. When given freedom and opportunity, Americans are capable of extraordinary things. If you are ready to make a difference in our community and want to get involved, then visit americansforprosperity.org. Be a part of positive change at americansforprosperity.org. Paid for by Americans for Prosperity.
CBS News Brief. Still no details about the administration's plans to conduct anti-crime and immigration operations in Chicago. CBS's Usher Qureshi.
We're already hearing about pockets of small ICE operations with some arrests being made, but not in the large scale that we were anticipating leading into this.
CBS's Camilo Montoya Galvez reports the Supreme Court has lifted a restraining order against roving immigration patrols in Los Angeles.
The Supreme Court has given the Trump administration yet another legal victory on immigration and its efforts to carry out what the president has promised will be the largest deportation operation in American history.
The order had blocked agents from stopping people based solely on race, language, job, or location. Israel's prime minister has told residents of Gaza City to leave now as the assault intensifies, and a train collided with a double-decker bus northwest of Mexico City, killing at least 8 people. CBS News Brief.
Looking for adventure, amazing food, and a little relaxation all in one place? You'll find it at Cypress Point Resort in Brandon. Load up the family and experience a real drive-through safari, petting zoo, and thrilling guided Jeep tours. Then slow it down with mouth-watering steaks at the steakhouse, or grab drinks and live music at the tavern. Planning a wedding or reunion? Cypress Point Resort has beautiful venues and cozy lodging. Ready for your big day or just a weekend escape? It's everything you love about the outdoors with a touch of luxury. Cypress Point Resort. Wild fun right around the corner.
You can show your pride and patriotism in honor of the 250th birthday of this great nation by proudly flying a flag. And a complete flag source on I-55 in Jackson is the place to find it. All sizes for all purposes. And they have the official 250-year celebration flag. Have a look at CompleteFlags.com. That's CompleteFlags.com.
Would you like the convenience of a sunglass clip that fits your eyeglass frame? Hi, it's Bruce from Eye Gear Optical, and I've heard you asking, so I stocked up on them. Come choose from our selection of Revolution eyewear frames with magnetic sun clips at fantastic prices. For about the same price as a regular eyeglass frame, you can have the best of both worlds while they last. Come see me and I'll customize a pair just for you at Eye Gear Optical, 2630 Highway 80 East in Pearl, and on the web at eyegearoptical.com.
If you ever been stuck on the side of the road with engine trouble or because of an accident, you know how frustrating that can be. I'm Chad Stevens of Chad Stevens Record Service. We'll help take some of the stress out of the stressful situation. We've been rated by AAA as one of the top 10 towing services in the entire USA. Why? Well, just ask our customers. So keep our number in your cell phones and call us if you need us. 662-755-8645. That's Chad Stevens Record Service. 662-755-8645.
Welcome back to the Lindsey Beckham Show, where we are joined by guest Alex Bougher, who is telling us about what her experience has been in New Jersey with Girl Scouts of all organizations. Alex, go ahead. You had a troop for 7 years. You didn't agree with some of the things that they were doing in their meetings and the church where these meetings were being held, with the trans flag and the pride flag during the month of June. You spoke out about it. They refused to change it. And so then what happens?
Yeah. So, I mean, a big thing that the other side likes to point out is that, we do get to choose what we want to do with our troops. And I think that's so important to also point out, because that's true. But when you are shoving it down these kids' throats and just putting it everywhere and making the meeting place, have these trans events and the trans flag, you're not giving us a choice anymore because you're putting it right in front of their face. And so it was really important for us or myself, to stand up and say, absolutely not. You're taking this too far. So yes, I shared the latest post in June, and really, actually, I didn't hear too much after that. I believe it was August 11th. I got an email from Service, Northern New Jersey Girl Scouts service manager, and said, we need to make an appointment to talk about your role as a troop leader. And I was like, okay, I've never gotten one of these before.
Yep.
Can't be good.
What have I done?
This sounds ominous. So I actually called them that day. They actually had given me like a day and time, and I thought that was strange. I had work, and so I called and I said, I'd like to speak to someone today. I had got this weird email, and she goes, okay, let me check on it for you. And she got back to me and she goes, oh no, you need to speak to these two specific women. And I was like, okay. So I changed my schedule around. I called when they wanted me to call, and I was told, actually right off the bat, I said, all right, ladies, what can I help you with here? I took off work for this, and I'm just curious as to what's going on. And they said, well, it's been brought to our attention that you had a social media post, and that went against the Girl Scout Code of Conduct. You are no longer allowed to be a troop leader. You are no longer allowed to be a Girl Scout member, and your daughter can never be a Girl Scout.
That's the part of it that really just blew my mind. What did your daughter do wrong here?
She did nothing. In fact, our girls just finished their bronze certification awards. They helped homeless animals for 2 years. They took their own time to walk these dogs multiple times a week for 2 years, raised money, did all these different things for them. She should be being
honored,
celebrated
right,
this month, actually, along with her troop, to get her award, and she won't be doing that. So It's, it was very sad for like a hot second. I was sad, definitely for her and for my troop, because in sixth grade, in our town, high school starts in seventh grade. So a lot of the troops sort of end after the sixth grade year. So this would have really been the last year of the big group of girls. Maybe 5 would go past to do the older cadets, but it's, that would have been like 5%
Right,
of my
most of
troop.
them don't.
So this is right. This is like our last big year. And we have our camping trip coming up, and she's about to get awarded. And, we're supposed to whitewater raft with our troop this year, and like all these wonderful things. And I'm just like, I felt such sadness for my
Right.
girls, because I am the one out of the leaders that does this. I book the rooms, I book the trips, I
And you've
like
been with
do
these
all this
girls. You've
stuff.
been a
So
part of
I'm
their
like,
lives for 7 years.
yes, and I'm going to be a part of their life. I mean, I'm their coach in here, or their Bible club teacher, or they're my kid's friend, and I'm going to be always there. In fact, we're going to start an adventure troop, and we're not going to deal with any of this nonsense. We're just going to book cool things to do with the kids, and not worry about this stuff. So we're going to do all this stuff. But there was a second there that I was like, oh, just like a little defeated for a second. And then I said, well, I'd like to speak. What was the post? And they said, well, we're not at liberty to tell you that. What do you mean? You're going to fire me and not tell me why you're firing me? And that's sort of when the conversation took a turn, and they got a little nasty. And they said, well, you're a volunteer. We can't fire you. And I said, you're right. I'm a volunteer who pays to volunteer. The only organization that you have to pay to volunteer, people like beg you, please, we need a coach. Please, we need this. Here, you actually have to pay. And it's your time, and it's time away from work and your family. And how many kids couldn't afford something? And, myself and our troop leaders would go in our own pockets and be like, we got you. Don't worry about it. Like, we just want everyone to be together. And you can't tell me which
They couldn't even
post
tell
was
you
wrong.
what you
No, we can't.
violated, what you did wrong
Right.
that constituted them doing
Right.
something like this and removing you.
Right. And probably because if you look at the Girl Scout Code of Conduct, none of my posts went against that code of conduct. So it's a wrongful, I guess,
Yeah.
firing. You could say that. They said I can't call it a firing, but I don't
Yeah.
know what else to call it. And so, I said, well, how can I get this information? Can I get this in writing? No, you won't get it in writing. You'd have to have your lawyer contact us for more information and to get it in writing. I have to hire a lawyer now. And so that's when I said, okay, let me talk to somebody on top of you, like your boss or manager. No, you can't speak to anybody else.
But,
Okay.
you get to tell me that.
Have your lawyer. Okay. So that's when I said, you don't know
Yeah,
what
you just
did,
messed up.
because you just messed up. A, I know this is not protocol. B, you're in the wrong on so many different, ways, levels. And you haven't treated me with any respect. I've treated you with a ton of respect, and you are not treating me with the same respect. So now I need to actually, I guess I'm going to take your advice and get my lawyer involved, and we're going to see what we could do about this. And I can't tell you, when I put that post up, I was actually running to do cheer camp. The amount of support, I had to tell my troop first, and that
Yeah.
was hard. And I did it right away because I said, let me just get in front of this, because literally I was about to book rooms, to hold the meetings that day. And I said, let me just get in front of this. And I was very upset to see that about a half an hour after that. Actually, let me back up for a second. So they said they can no longer on the phone call talk to me about anything else, because once you mention the word lawyer, now lawyers need to talk to lawyers.
Right.
So, right. So I said, so you won't be talking to anybody about this, right? And they said, no, we're not allowed to anymore. Okay, great. Well, speed up to cheer camp. My friend, who's also a Girl Scout mom, sends me a screenshot of an email that she had just received. It was from the service unit manager in our town, telling everybody, just so you know, a leader just got, let go by council. It was council decision, put my name in there, and said that it was going against the Girl Scout Code of Conduct. Did not say any reason why, made it sound awful. Basically it's slander. And she wasn't allowed to send that
Right.
email out. Girl Scouts had just said, we can't talk about
Become
this
a legal
anymore.
issue.
And it was From the legal issue, right? So now we had this screenshotted, and I actually emailed her, text messaged her, and I said, you're not allowed to send this out. I said, first of all, that was slander. You didn't even explain the real explanation, and we were told you're not allowed to talk about this. So then, of course, I do what I do best, and I made a post about it, and I said, this is what just happened, and I tagged her in it. Listen, be proud of what you did. If you're proud that you sent that email out, I'm going to tag you in that post, because that's
stand behind
how
it.
you
Stand
felt.
behind your actions. If you're gonna,
You know what I
if
mean?
you're big
Stand
enough to go
behind
do
it.
it.
She
Yeah.
removed herself. She removed the tag. I tagged her again. I texted her. I said, you're the one who did this. Own it. And so, the amount of support that I've gotten has just been absolutely incredible.
This has been New York Post. Fox News. It's been
Oh, yeah.
everywhere.
I think New York Post started it. Yes. I reached out to all my contacts. I reached out, obviously, to Moms for Liberty National, and I said, we need to do something about this.
You already have
This
that
is big. And everybody sort of was saying that at the same time, too. Like, did you see Alex's post?
Yeah.
Like, we need to do something about this. So everyone's been awesome. Newsmax, Fox, like every podcast, everyone has been wonderful. Lawyers that have reached out and they're like, we want to take your case. This is discrimination. This is, and I also got 2 messages from girls that actually work in the service unit in Paramus. And they were like, we're all talking about it. We cannot believe that this happened. That's not protocol. They're not allowed to do it how they did it. They need to call you in. You need to have a discussion with somebody. The fact that they just shut you down like that without having you in the conversation is not how things are done.
What it was in their protocol.
Without giving me that chance. Right. And they said, they're like, there's Girl Scout leaders that have actually done bad things. They're like steal from their own troop that are still troop leaders. They have allowed them to stay on. So they put these woke ideas in front of the safety of our children. They put troop leaders that have stolen from their own troops. To them, that's okay. But to protect children against sexually inappropriate things at a young age, like that's it. You can't be part of us anymore. So it really shows the priorities and what's important to Girl Scouts.
They've taken a turn. A very big turn compared to what I've always thought of as Girl Scouts being, which is, like you said, faith, family, and that's just not what this is.
Yeah, community, God, and country. It's always been those 3 things. We do the Girl Scout law with the kids. They always do the Pledge of Allegiance. And it's funny, some of the comments are like, when has it ever been about God? I'm like, it's always been about God from day one. But it just shows, how uneducated some people are and just how far left that they've really fallen. And also this is meant for girls. This is not meant for anybody else. We have the Boy Scouts. Boys can go on the Boy Scouts, right? And I think Cubs is for like the little kids, and it's both. That's like fine. They all play soccer together. 5 years old, it is what it is. But once you get to a certain age, it's important for these young ladies to have their own space, and these young men to have their own space. That's so important.
We got to take our last commercial break. Alex, stay with us. So I want you to be able to tell everybody, we didn't have nearly enough time. It goes by so fast. I want you to be able to tell everybody where to find you, how to follow you, and how to stay on top of, your story, what's going on there. Y'all stay with us. We will be right back here on The Lindsey Beckham Show. Stay with us. We will be right back here on The Lindsey Beckham Show.
Keep it tuned here to 103.9 WYAB.
Here's a word from John White, the owner of Two Gun Tactical in Flowood and Ridgeland.
I carry a gun every day, all the time. Last year in America, 2 million legal guns were pulled, and it stopped the threat. So I'm really wearing a firearm just to stop the threat. There's more likelihood of me just pulling it and not using it than there is using it. TwoGunTactical.com, TwoGunTactical.com.
Two Gun Tactical, the South's only country club.
Venable Glass is your local glass expert, offering residential, automotive, and commercial glass. Venable Glass can do it all. What sets Venable Glass apart from the rest? unmatched reliability, and customer service. Don't forget, tell your insurance company that you want to use Venable Glass. And remember, you do have a choice. Let Venable Glass work hard to earn your business. Call Venable's Ridgeland or Brandon locations today for a free estimate or visit venableglass.com.
Acme Pizza and Daiquiris at Fannin Mart on the Res is quickly becoming Rankin County's go-to spot for pizza, burgers, pasta, appetizers, daiquiris, and more. Try their famous Wheel of Flavor pizza. You can add up to 3 different specialty pizzas onto one pie, such as the margarita, Sergeant Pepperoni, Acme Beet Buster, Pig, Pesto Chicken, the Old Mexico, the Supreme, or hey, just build your own custom pizza. Acme also has a full bar with 9 different frozen daiquiris to choose from. Open daily at 4 p.m. Acme Pizza and Daiquiris.
All Britain's Jewelers.
When love requires a gift, nothing says it better than All Britons. Since 1920, we've been part of your family. From weddings and anniversaries to holidays, we've been there for every special occasion. At All Britons, we value your trust. Every gift, whether large or small, is a reflection of our commitment to quality and excellence. That's the reason we're still Mississippi's foremost diamond merchant. Let us show you why. All Britons Jewelry, 4460 Old Canton Road in Jackson.
All Britain's Jewelers.
Hi, it's Jackson author Jeff Pettigo, and I've written a satirical novel you should read called City Zoo, an Unfairy Story, a witty Orwellian animal fable about the lying fake news media. What happens is a former circus elephant runs for animal zookeeper, and all the monkeys in the zoo's fairy tale news media go crazy trying to take him out. Sounds familiar. It's the perfect pop culture satire for the beach. Learn more about the novel City Zoo at cityzoo.us. cityzoo.us.
Antique Mall of the South has 14,000 square feet of pristine, clean floor space. Home to beautiful, timeless antique treasures. Antique Mall of the South is open Monday to Saturday, 10 to 5. Check them out online at antiquemallofthesouth.com or go to the Antique Mall of the South Facebook page. You can also read the dozens of 5-star reviews online. Come see for yourself at Antique Mall of the South in Ridgeland. Now open Monday to Saturday, 10 to 5. That's Antique Mall of the South, Highway 51 in Ridgeland.
Hi, Kim Wade here. Are you craving a home-cooked meal without the hassle? Come over to McBee's Bar and Grill in Ridgeland for their Blue Plate lunch specials. Served up every weekday, at McBee's it's a different entree every day. Chicken spaghetti on Mondays, beef tip Tuesday, pork chop Wednesday, spaghetti Thursday, and catfish Fridays. And McBee's Blue Plate lunch comes with 2 classic southern sides and cornbread or a roll. McBee's specials are served every weekday from 11 to 2. McBee's, buzzing the res since 1982.
If you had an accident and had your vehicle repaired at the insurance company preferred shop, you might consider calling Clinton Body Shop to schedule a post-repair inspection. 5 of the last 6 cars we inspected were bought back by the insurer or repair shop due to unsafe repairs. Your family's safety and your investment are at risk. You may have a diminished value claim due to repairs. Did your insurance company mention that? In Clinton and in Richland, we work for you. We take pride in perfection.
We are back here for the last few seconds. Alex, we only have about 20 seconds. It goes by so fast. I needed 2 hours with you, but tell people where they can find you so they can follow what's going on.
For sure. So Moms for Liberty, Bergen County, New Jersey. We have a Facebook page, an Instagram, and an X. Just type that in. You'll find it. Or Alexandra Bougher, Bougher, or momsforliberty.org. Go to your state, go to your county, and you'll find our information there.
Absolutely. We're just now, I think that we're off air on the radio, but we are still going live on the feed, on the video feed. But, there was so much more I wanted to get into you. I wanted to get into the swatting and get in with you.
We got to do part 2.
Yes, we'll have to do a part 2, definitely. So everybody be on the lookout for that. Alex, you are such a badass and such a fighter and such a warrior. And
First of all, I feel that way about you because I didn't know, we only get to see each other maybe once a year or definitely Summit, right? Or some other things. But we don't really, we're so busy working and learning. We don't really get to learn about each other. Right, exactly. But that's why I love the Fire of Liberty, because I got to just sit and listen to your story and I had no idea. And I remember, turning to my husband and being like, what? I had no idea. And so I think it's so wonderful because you know, I think everybody in our organization is complete badasses. Like, I really do think so. But
Yeah.
we only get to see this much of it. And there's so much more to everybody's story. So I think it's great. And thank you so much for having me on
Yes,
today.
absolutely. You are welcome anytime. And
All
I
right.
think like
I look
there's
forward to
you know,
part 2.
yes, absolutely. I think there's that group of moms, the ones that joined really early on. Not, I mean, and the new ones too, but I think there's just this connection there where we've learned, we've gotten to know each other, and now we're, like you said, with the Fire of Liberty, learning even more about everybody's stories. And I think we just feel like there is, we might be far apart, miles and distance wise, but like you're my people, and so
Yes. Well,
I
your family. And that's like
family,
what I
yeah.
meant when I said earlier, like even boarding school, you don't have to be blood to be family. Other
Right.
things put you together that makes you family. And so I think it's awesome. And I also think we should have like OG pins.
We
You know,
should.
like
We need that. Let's do that. We should do that for
let's
summit.
do
I will
it.
see you
Let's do it.
next month in person. Maybe we
Yes,
should do a live or do something then.
we should. Let's
Figure
do
that
it.
out. Let's do it.
All
We'll
right.
figure it
We'll
out.
figure
All
it out.
right.
We're going to talk
Thank
about
you
it. All
so
right, honey.
much.
Have a great
I'm
day.
just so honored that you were able to come on
Me
and be a
too.
part of this. All right.
Bye,
Talk to you
honey.
soon.
Bye, everybody.